Hello, I'm Chris from TechSpert, and this past week I've had these wee buggers stuffed inside of my head, the Huawei Freebuds 6i. The Freebuds 6i will cost you just 90 Great British pounds, and yet they boast seriously impressive noise cancellation. They're absolutely one of the best true wireless earbuds at this price for getting everyone and everything all around you just to shut the f*** up. So here's my full Freebuds 6i review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So you've got a choice of 3 different colours. I've got the fairly boring black ones, but you can also grab them in also fairly boring white or a bit more jazzy purple. They're your typical AirPod style design with the little drippy down stems. So when you shove them in your ears, kind of looks like you got something oozing out of them. Particularly perturbing if you have the white model. But they're rather compact and lightweight as well, and of course you've got the usual silicone tip with a variety of sizes bundled in the box. You can find the best fit for you. And personally I found that the Freebuds 6i were comfortable enough to wear for hours at a time. In fact, I'd chuck them in with 100% charge and not take them out again until they hit 0%, but more on the battery life side later. You've got the added benefit of IP54 splash and dust resistance as well, so no worries if you're getting a bit sweaty from doing a jogging, exercisey type thing, just eating a particularly hot vindaloo. Now if you want to use the Freebuds but you don't have a Huawei smartphone, well no worries, what you'll need to do is download the AI Life app. Unfortunately, this isn't available via the Google Play Store for Androids. You're going to have to download it from Huawei's website as an APK file and install it that way, which is a minor ball ache. It's more of a ball twinge, really. Once you've got that installed, setup is nice and straightforward. Connection is pretty much instant. And it's not a bad app at all. You can quickly and easily check out the remaining battery life on both your buds and the actual charging case. You can also see which smartphones and other devices you're connected to. Can hook up to a couple at once using Bluetooth 5.3. You've also got direct control over the noise cancellation and also the audio settings, more on all that later. You've got basic stuff like Find My Earbuds and a tip fit test. And in here is also where you can configure the gestures. Now with earbuds like the Freebuds 6i, which have the wee droppy down stem bit, I do prefer some nice squeezy touch controls as opposed to tapping controls. Unfortunately, it's the tapping style touch controls that you get here. You got to tap up near the top end of the buds, which isn't the most comfortable because it kind of drives the bud into your lug hole. But hey-ho, such is life. And what you can do is double tap either buds to pause and then play your music. You can also triple tap the right one in order to skip forward a track, and the left one is configured the same by default, but I set it up so a triple tap will skip you back a track instead. You can also press and hold those buds to cycle through the various noise control options. There's no option to change that on either bud to actually activate in your smartphone assistant or something different. You can also stroke that shaft up and down, so to speak, in order to tweak the volume. So a swipe up will raise the volume, a swipe down again will lower that volume, and it just works perfectly. As for the audio quality, well, Huawei has stuffed some 11mm dynamic drivers inside of the Freebuds 6i. I wasn't expecting too much when it came to the audio quality here, and I certainly wasn't really disappointed. The overall sound is fairly flat. And playing around with those audio presets doesn't really help. You do have a bass boost feature, which doesn't exactly enhance the bass that much. Although you do get a bit of a boost to the vocals with the voices option. But yeah, I'd say the sound quality is merely okay. It's absolutely fine for listening to podcasts and audiobooks, but if you want to enjoy some music and you consider yourself a bit of an audiophile, you like to hear all the crispy little details, then these really aren't the earbuds for you. And you do have support for high-res audio, not that it makes much of a difference to the overall quality, but you can just activate that in the sound quality section. And I found the connection stayed pretty stable even with that active, even when I was knocking about in central London. But absolutely the highlight of the Freebuds 6i for me at this price point is the noise cancellation. These true wireless earbuds can dynamically boost the ANC whenever you wander into quite a noisy environment like a high street. If you're doing a bit of commuting on trains, tubes, that sort of thing, they can max out the ANC and really drown out all of that bollocks all around you. And I felt that dynamic scaling generally worked pretty well. Occasionally took a wee bit longer than I would have liked to kick in, but on the whole, impressively responsive. And certainly on the maxed out noise cancelling mode, it absolutely shat all over. Even the screechiest of London tubes, the Northern Line, only occasionally in the very worst sections would cut right through, and I'd have to boost up the volume a bit on my podcast. But apart from that, absolutely no issues whatsoever. I did find on the highest ANC level, I did get a wee bit of wind feedback when I was outdoors and it was a bit blustery, but we're talking a very slight amount of feedback here. And generally the dynamic scaling helps to counter that quite effectively. And the Huawei Freebuds 6i boast a triple microphone setup with the usual AI shenanigans for smothering any background noise and really focusing on your vocals. So here's a test with lots of background shenanigans going on, lots of honking horns and general traffic and people being people. And as you can hear, the Freebuds 6i doing a pretty good job of filtering out all of that crap and focusing just on me. But while I was impressed with all the noise cancelling and reduction, smarty pants shenanigans here on the Freebuds 6i, sadly the battery life is rather lackluster. I found if I was travelling with that dynamic ANC mode active, I would generally get pretty much bang on 4 hours of battery life from a charge before they needed to be yanked out of my lug holes and stuck back in the nifty wee box. And that's certainly pretty subpar for a pair of modern true wireless earbuds. And if you do turn off ANC entirely, well, you'll get an extra couple of hours, but even then it's still not amazing, even at this rather cheapy price point. But I do adore Huawei's dinky wee charging case. It's pleasingly compact, and because of the rounded design and everything, you can basically stash this thing absolutely anywhere. Even the skinniest of skinny jeans are no barrier for this thing, and when the buds are stuck away in the charging case, they'll recharge around 3 to 4 full times before the case itself will need to be recharged by bunging a Type-C USB cable in its bottom. And there you have it, my lovelies. That is what I reckon of the Huawei Freebuds 6i after using them as my full-time true wireless earbuds for just over a week now. Gotta say, as long as you're not too bothered about the actual audio quality, that's absolutely fine for enjoying some music, perfectly good for a bit of podcast and audiobook action, but you will find better sound quality out there, again, for around the sort of £100 price point. But when it comes to the noise cancellation, these things absolutely cannot be beat. They just absolutely destroy, obliterate, eliminate everything going on all around you, which I'm very happy about, being a massive misanthrope. If you've been using the Freebuds 6i, it'd be great to know your thoughts on them down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. And have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.